to submit statement and supporting materials for the record.
Madam Chair.
Yes, sir.
You went over 2 minutes and 34 seconds, and now you've had a closing statement. I think I get time to be able to rebut that.
To rebut what?
To rebut your 2 minutes and 34 seconds versus my 5, and now you've had a closing statement,
Okay.
but I have
So,
no closing statement.
I always give a closing statement. You never.
That was a lengthy closing. I mean, it's one thing to do 30 seconds, but that was about 2 minutes worth of closing statement.
So look, I am the chair of this committee. I run this committee, and I try to run this committee in a bipartisan way. I did it with Mr. Chabot. I did it with talent, and I got to tell you, this has been the most partisan committee ever, and I resent that because I try to be fair and balanced.
Well,
I have always make a closing statement, and as chair, I have.
I don't do. That's wonderful. You make a closing statement, but I think if you're going to have a lengthy one, it's one thing to say thank you to the witnesses and just a small recap. But for
reclaiming my time, sir, I have always given a closing statement. It doesn't have to be 2 minutes long or 3 minutes long or 1 minute long.
If you have a closing statement of a significant length, I have the option to be able to have a closing statement as well.
No, you're not chair. You are.
That's
not
in the
chair.
rules. That's not the chair.
No, you're not the chair.
It's in the rules.
You're not the chair.
So you're going to do it because you can. Is that what you just said?
Well, I'm the chair, sir. I'm the chair. Steve Chabot never gave.
So next term, whenever I'm the chair, you're going to sit here and we'll just make sure you have 5 minutes left, go on for 20? Is that what you just said?
I give you the right to run your minority members. I give you access in terms of your budget. I am the chair. I give a closing statement, and that has always been the tradition of the committee.
Madam Chair, with all due respect, there are rules in place to allow
you want to give an opening. You want to give a closing statement. Make a closing statement, sir. You recognize.
Okay. Very good.
You recognize.
Thank you. Well, we could have been on here 5 minutes ago if we would have just recognized that right off the bat. But here we are. Again, going through some of the last comments by the chairman, the vaccine mandate. I think. Ms. Guzman, you said 98% of the small businesses are exempt. The problem is only about 40%, about 35 to 40% of the people are going to be exempt from that. There's about 60 to 65%, according to what our information is, that are going to be affected by the vaccine mandate. So let's be honest about your statistics here. The chairman talked about guardrails on things, and I think that's great. We need to have guardrails on what's going on, especially in the EIDL program and some of the direct lending programs. The problem is the staff don't follow the guardrails. The problem, if the IG report says that this is happening, so therefore we need to make sure that the staff does its job, which is to adhere to the new challenges, new guardrails, new protocols that are in place. That's your job, Madam Chair, Administrator. One of the things that is frustrating to me is when you make these wild statements about, we're going to raise taxes on the wealthy. In this BBB, there's a huge tax break for the wealthy. It's called SALT. You can't take on one side and give on the other and get away with just saying part of what's going on and not explain what's going on the other side of this argument. So it's very frustrating to see that there's a lot of the information is not necessarily given in a frank form for both sides to understand the depth and problems that we have. Again, I thank you for being here, Ms. Guzman. I think that you have got a large job ahead of you. I think you found this morning the concerns that we have on this side of the aisle with regards to the inability to answer questions, the inability to provide studies to show that you're actually doing your job and making sure that the information you're giving us is actually done by a think tank or a study of some sort, that you can verify and back up what you're saying. This is very important. You talk about the COVID thing, and right here I've got something from the Job Creators Network that says higher prices, inflation by 40% versus 14% is the number one issue for small businesses. I hope that you have information like that, because that's where you need what you need to be able to make good decisions. So I'm very concerned of the direction that we're going. This committee hearing has not allayed my fears, and we're going to be watching very carefully and providing what we're supposed to be doing is for oversight. Thank you for being here. With that, Madam Chair, I yield back.
Yes, and let me remind the gentleman that almost every economist in this country are saying, including Senator Portman yesterday in his speech, that when it comes to inflation, no better to make investment in the infrastructure of this country. But you know what is the problem here? That for the last 40 years, America has been expecting an infrastructure bill. People and previous presidents make pronouncement of infrastructure bill, and this one delivered. The President of the United States delivered yesterday. I ask unanimous consent that members have 5 legislative dates to submit statement and supporting materials for the record. Without objection, so ordered. And if there is no further business to come before the committee, we are adjourned.